Let's be real. Moving is a huge life event, but trying to get a straight answer on what it's going to cost, that can feel like an absolute nightmare. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole process, step by step. Let's dive in.
You know how it is? You get one price online, a totally different one over the phone, and they all feel like they're missing something. It's overwhelming, it's confusing, and honestly, it's just plain stressful. You are definitely not alone in feeling that way.
But hey, what if I told you that in the next 5 minutes, you could totally master this thing? Consider this your personal roadmap. We're going to turn all that confusion into confidence so you can find a fantastic mover and avoid any of those nasty last-minute financial shocks.
Okay, phase 1, and this is crucial. Everything starts before you even think about picking up the phone. A little bit of prep work is the absolute secret to getting a quote that's actually, accurate.
It really just breaks down into 3 super simple steps that are going to save you a ton of time and money. First up, declutter. Second, make a quick inventory list. And third, get all your key info together. Let's look a little closer at what exactly you'll need.
Think of this stuff as the puzzle pieces the moving company needs. Your date tells them about their schedule, the addresses obviously determine the distance, and the property type gives them a hint about challenges, like are there elevators or 5 flights of stairs. And seriously, mentioning things like narrow hallways up front is key, because that's how you prevent them from becoming surprise charges later. The more detail you give, the sharper that quote is going to be.
All right, you've done your homework, you've got your info ready. Perfect. Now let's jump into phase 2 and see how we turn that prep work into a truly reliable price from a mover.
Listen, if you take away only one thing from this, let it be this right here. Online calculators are fine for a ballpark figure, but nothing, and I mean nothing, beats having a professional actually see your stuff. Whether they come to your home or you do a virtual video tour, this is what eliminates all the guesswork.
And here's why it's so important. A real person can see things a website form just can't. They'll gauge the true volume of your belongings, they'll notice that big, awkwardly shaped desk, and they'll see that tight staircase you might have totally forgotten to mention. This is your best shot to get a quote based on reality, not just a rough guess. And now for the main event, figuring out what's actually in the quote. This is where a lot of people get tripped up, but trust me, it's pretty straightforward once you know what to look for.
So here's the big one. Binding versus non-binding estimates. A binding estimate is your best friend when it comes to budgeting. That price is locked in. Done. Unless, of course, you suddenly decide to add a grand piano at the last minute. A non-binding estimate, on the other hand, is really just a guess. The final cost could go up or down. For peace of mind, binding is almost always the way to go.
Next up, insurance. Now, every move automatically includes something called released value protection. It's free, but, and this is a big but, it only covers your stuff at 60 cents per pound. So if your 10-pound, $1,000 laptop gets smashed, you get $6 back. Yeah. For real protection, you need to ask for full value protection. It costs a bit extra, but it means the mover has to pay the actual replacement value if something gets lost or broken. Okay, so you've got your estimate type figured out, you've sorted your insurance, but that price on the paper might still not be the final price. So what else could be lurking in there? This is exactly why you have to ask really specific questions. Does this price include fuel? Is there an extra fee for my 3rd floor walk-up? What happens if the truck can't park right out front? These are all totally legitimate charges, but a good, reputable mover will be upfront about them if you ask. Just make sure they're all listed on the quote before you sign anything. So, now that you know how to get a quote that's accurate and transparent, let's talk about the fun part, how to actively knock that final number down. There are some really simple, really powerful ways to cut your moving costs. Hey, remember step 1 from our prep phase? Turns out it's also the #1 way to save money. Moving companies charge based on how much stuff you have and how much it weighs. The less stuff you move, the less you pay. It is literally that simple. So sell it, donate it, or toss it before you get that estimate. Oh, this is a big one. The moving industry has a peak season and an off-season, just like the travel industry. If you have any flexibility at all with your date, you can save a serious amount of cash just by picking the right day. So here's the deal. Everyone wants to move on a weekend at the end of the month, so don't be like everyone. If you can schedule your move for, say, a Tuesday in the middle of the month, you're probably going to get a much better rate. And if you can move in November instead of July, you'll find companies are way less busy and prices are much lower. Look, having a company do all your packing is an amazing luxury, but it definitely adds a lot to the final bill.
The absolute easiest way to slash that cost? Roll up your sleeves and pack some of your own boxes.
Now, you might want to leave the fragile stuff like dishes and electronics to the pros. That's smart. But you can absolutely pack your own clothes, books, towels, and all the other unbreakable stuff. This alone can shave hundreds of dollars off your final bill, and you're not risking your valuables.
So as we wrap this up, let's just circle back to the main point of all this. The goal isn't just to find the rock-bottom cheapest price you can. The real goal is to find a fair price from a trustworthy company where you know exactly, to the dollar, what you're paying for. It's all about clarity, trust, and value.
Which brings us to our final thought. That unbelievably low quote might seem super tempting at first glance. But after everything we've just covered, from hidden fees to worthless insurance, you now know the real question to ask yourself is this: is the cheapest quote really the best deal? Now you've got the tools to figure that out for yourself.